Welcome back everyone. Now we are going to learn about what is the analog communication. Well, previously it was only the analog communication, no kind of the digital communication was there. So what is the meaning of the analog communication? Well, in one word I would like to call it signal form communication. Signal form of communication. So how this signal form of the communication actually works? Well, surely it works through the wires or maybe without wires, but still the waves are traveling. The EM waves are traveling from one end to another. I'm surely gonna have this course of antenna in the coming future where we'll discuss that things in detail. But the matter of the fact is antenna is of two types: receiver and antenna and the transmission and antenna, and in between it travels through the space. So this is all the thing that is there. So there is the sine wave, cos wave, and these kind of things that travels, and the basic science of it being the amplitude and wavelength and all that kind of things are involved in being the analog communication. Like I made this graph of analog communication, and let's understand few of the things that we can learn from here. So the maximum displacement is called as amplitude, as you surely have learned in your science text whenever you have studied about the waves. And from this point to this point, well, each above point or each bump up is called as crest, and each down one is known as trough. So the distance between two crests or two trough is known as wavelength, denoted with lambda, lambda, and that is known as wavelength. But for the simplest of the thing, the wavelength is equal to velocity times the time, and you can also write it as in this way. Well, you might ask that why I written the two V's here. Well, this one is the velocity of the traveling wave that we are having. This is surely our wavelength, lambda, and this is gonna be our frequency. Well, one of the most famous thing is here, frequency. So what a frequency it means? Well, 1 divided by time period is known as frequency. Now, let me write the one here. So here it is, 1 divided by time period is known as frequency. So let me tell you something very interesting about the frequency here. That is, if two lines are having the resonance, the term here is resonance, then you can talk infinitely without having any other channel required. Well, that is one of the way the walkie-talkie work. Walkie-talkie work. Well, you can make the walkie-talkie by your own self. That's what I mean. Well, you can make anything, that's obvious, but walkie-talkie one is one of the simplest thing to make. You need to make the two things in resonance. Like, just imagine that when you call your friend, when you call your friend from your cell phone, what you actually do, you dial the number, dial the number of your friend sitting somewhere else, maybe in the other country or other place, and his phone is started ringing. So what your phone actually did when you dialed number, it transmitted the signal to the local station, and that transmitted to the satellite, and that transmitted to the local station of the of your friend, and then it will going to ring your friend's phone, and then he can receive your call in the full duplex mode. Full duplex mode. So this is the communication that we are having these days. But there is also one other way, which is the cable line. Well, you can have the cable line of communication where two phones are connected through a cable. Very long distance intermediate things are there, obviously, because we do not have the kilometers of the wire. But if you use for your home purpose for that kind of the thing, that is called as networking. So you can network uh, your one phone to another phone, or your one computer or PC to another computer. So we have it one way, both way. We can have the central system. We can have a star delta method. Well, there are so many kind of things that we can have here, like P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. All kind of the things are connected to one central server. It is possible also. So we can have central server, we can have decentralized server, we can have individual server, we can have connected, disconnected. uh, there are so many forms of it. And if you want to learn more about this, I would like to tell you that you need to go for the networking. And in the networking thing, you will learn about these kind of things, that which way you can connect the two or more devices or for that kind of the communication. So that is the networking. You might have heard it also, that network engineers are there, networking is there, so that we can have the communication lines from one point to another. Well, this is the main or the core thing that I would like to mention, that if you want to learn a networking, that's a subject itself. So what we are doing here, when I am saying frequently that it is a subject itself, don't get bothered about it, because we are learning the engineering. And when you go very specific on something, it is indeed a subject itself. And when you even go dig inside the networking, you will get a branch of it on which you are working. So excuse me. So it never actually ends, and it just goes on and on and on. The knowledge goes on, flows on. So you need to keep on learning these things. And that's how you have chose the engineering of the thing. So you just have to pick it up. The motive of this course was mainly so that you can pick up the most interesting and exciting thing that you want to learn, and you can dig deeper and deeper into that thing. Maybe you learn the microprocessor, maybe you are interested in SMPS or the application part, maybe you are learn and interested in the theoretical part that we have learned in the binary algebra, maybe you are interested in the science part, which is semiconductor. Any part, wherever you are interested, you can find more and more things to explore. So this course is made in such a way so that you can have the solid foundation, and your preparation for the basics are very clear and get strong, so that whenever you go and enter in any job profession, your own DIY project, learning or engineering, or just anything that you are doing right now, or you did ago, or you are willing to do, any phase you are in, you can learn the things and are able to understand everything quite in detailed way. Well, so what I just did, well, yes, I was giving you the example. How? Well, I communicated with you. So, what form of the communication it was? You are hearing through your ears. If we eliminate the digital aspect of it, because some way it's the digital communication that we are having right now, but if you eliminate that thing, you are listening to me from this long. So, what it means, you are listening the analog sound of it. You are not a digital machine, surely. So, we need something that can transmit the analog signal, like the earphones you are having, or the speakers you are having, through the thing which you are receiving my voice, my instruction, my lesson. And we are having the communication, one way communication, we are learning the things. So it is actually and ultimately comes to the analog part. You might be wondering, if I not tell you this, that why we are studying analog when we are actually into the digital electronics. So analog system has to do nothing with that. Well, it has to do, because you and I cannot understand the words of the zeros and ones, all the things, and we are not surely going to convert that billions and billions of things into simple English or simple conversational language that we understand. So It is done by the machine, but we always transmit and receive the analog way. Either you write it or you speak it. So that is the importance of the analog signal, and this is the example of the analog signal why I wanted to tell you all that thing. So I suggested whatever thing is completely depending upon you, that what you have to choose, what you have to not. That's your independent decision. But I hope you understood the analog communication in between of those things. So, see you in the digital communication in the next one. Till that time, take care, God bless, and keep smiling, my dear friend.